Pete, you know there's tradition on April 1st in the United States every year to say an April Fool's joke. Usually, though, not suggesting you're going to say it before you actually say it.
Yeah.
This week, the April Fool's joke is that I win the Idiot of the Week award for having McAllen playing Porter instead of Lopez. We're going to get there. Talking sports, Pete Pettis, Greg Selber. I had to get that out of the way. I was a fool.
Yeah, you did. And anyway,
What's support from the gallery?
It's April 1st, and I've had 2 jokes played on me.
Did they work?
One of them did. The other one was just kind of like, what was? I mean, they disconnected my computer.
And and that's the worst part. Like when you know someone knows early on, and you're like, I'll just moonwalk out of here.
The other one was kind of cool. Anyway, but
well, I hope you were successful. One of 2. Let's talk soccer playoffs, where some of our districts were successful and some were not.
Yes. Yeah, Brownsville.
Brownsville's still good, right? What can I say? We're talking about, well, and here's the key. We said, well, you know, Brownsville's not as good as it used to be, but, you know, will they still be good enough to win the playoffs? Apparently so.
Yeah.
And the boys.
Yeah.
Our soccer teams on this side of the woods did a lot of things that they probably shouldn't have done to win a playoff game. You can't get a card on the keeper like PST North did. You can't give up a goal in the first minute like McAllen did. And then the girls, McAllen girls, you can't have a handball in overtime. And, you know, against Brownsville, they may not be any state champs there, but they're still quality soccer teams, and you make one mistake at the key juncture and you just never recover.
Yeah. And what are you going to do about it? But now you got to move forward, and
Memorial did good. The Memorial girls did good, and Row girls did good.
Yeah, we'll get to the girls right now. Let's go with the boys, and you're setting up for Sherry against Lopez.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lopez is a team that was only 9-7 in this district. It lost a lot of games, but it's still a quality team that's playing well right now.
They spread the ball around a lot. They don't have. Now, obviously, you want to have a scorekeeper. I mean, a scorer.
Like Acevedo with Hannah. That guy
scored. Exactly. But 18 goals. That's great. But, you know, they score around. Their top scorer was 6.
Yeah,
you know
they spread it around. But they play pretty good defense.
They do. They do.
Yeah. You know, here's the deal. We're going to find out how good Lopez is. Because I feel that the Sherryland team right now is playing very well, and it has a chance to win. It just can't get hung up on the mentality of it's Brownsville. Because make no mistake, Lopez is not as good as it has been in the past. Now I can say that, and they still swept it. I still think that Sherryland wins the ball game.
I've got them.
Where do they play?
Moving forward, they're playing at Lopez. In Mercedes. At Mercedes.
They play. Is Mercedes a grass field?
Yes.
That's a little different of action, isn't it?
No, wait. Is it grass?
With Mercedes.
Yeah.
And if it is, that's different.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these schools aren't used to playing on grass or on turf.
Nice.
Where does Brownsville play? They play in that Brownsville Sports Park all the time. That's a nice place, by the way.
Really
I saw a fight there once. It was great. Yeah, not even a boxing match. No. All right. So bottom line is, in 30, Sherryland was the only girls team to win.
Yeah.
And that is kind of an interesting thing. None of the teams behind them in the race were that great, but I expect them to get through at least one round. Poor economy. All right, because they had a coach suspended for 2 games and a player for 1 on about an alleged red card. He played a kid with a red card. They were told at the time that the card wasn't recorded. It's a long story, but the thing is, down the stretch, the last 2 weeks, they lost their coach and a big-time player for games that would have got them a better seed. They lost. They fell down to 4th. They couldn't beat Palmview at the end of the beginning of last week, and consequently, they got Del Rio. And they got hammered 5-0. I feel bad for them. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with the district committee, but the thing is that robbed the team of momentum, and the seeding they earned was slipped away from them last week. Now Sherryland's going to be good. They play Row.
They play Row. Sets up a great neighboring matchup. I mean, schools are what, maybe 5 miles, 6 miles
They've been
apart.
playing each other against each other forever. Now Row beat Rivetta.
Yes.
It was a pretty decent Rivetta team. I think that Memorial beat South 3-0. That was a big game. Sherryland should be able to have its way against Row. Here's my formula for Row. Of course, keep in mind that April Fools, I've been wrong before. You can't let Sherryland get the ball and win balls and set up, because they're quick, they're fast, they score. They got 8 or 10 kids who can score. Everybody scores. You got to put a body on them. You got to be physical, and you got to run numbers at them and try to wear them down. Because the thing is, once you let them score, not only are they scoring, but you can't score. Sherryland's like they are in football and soccer. They just keep the ball.
They just keep the ball. And
they always seem to have the ball.
Keep moving on offense. And
but Row can do it, man. Hey, listen, why not? You got to believe in yourself.
I mean, they've got a scorer with 18 goals this year. So, so Martinez, I mean, why not? And then in the district, they had 3 of the top 5 scorers.
Yeah, they can put it in.
Same thing for Sherryland, but I mean.
So will it be 5-4 or will it be 1-0? Well, see,
you know, it always comes down to that. You have a lot of goal scorers, and it's 1-0.
Right.
The defense
because they cancel each other out, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to score, nobody's defending. I don't see either of those teams that way. Here's what I think, though. I think Rowe's going to have to pull off its best game of the year because Sharyland's a very good team that I see going 2-3, maybe farther. But they can lose. Any team can lose. I'll tell you they're impressive, though. They really are. That's an impressive team.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then it all boils down was how is McAllen Memorial going to stop Del Rio?
Yeah. We're going to find out whether Del Rio is as good as people say they are. They scored 5 against the Jags. I will tell you this. Beating South like that 3-0 is a good sign because South is a scoring team. If you can shut out South, look at 3-0. That's a good ball. That's a good score from Memorial. So they got to go and they got to play their best game of the year. Maybe Del Rio is not as good as we say. The thing is that the district wasn't that tough.
It wasn't that tough, but it's kind of hard to go against how many goals they've scored or how many goals.
93-1 or something.
How many goals
that was a misprint. How can that be? Who do they play? Like
how many
6
goals have they allowed all season?
Right.
You know what I mean? They just finished 5-0 and they haven't still.
So don't let them score. If you're playing a team that plays great defense, don't let them score because he'll put another man back and they got you. So you got to get ahead, or you got to stay even at the half. I think they'll have a good shot at it. But Memorial's been one of those teams that they fell from grace for a while, and they got back in the race. Those 3 mechanics.
Definitely under the radars, considering that Mackay got all the praise for winning district or what have you. But
and they still alive.
Yeah.
And Mac Allen's not. That's the way it goes, guys. You make one mistake at the wrong time, and a great season goes down. But you know what? Those 3 teams dominated the Upper Valley. They need to be proud of that effort. Definitely. And it's not over for 2 of them.
Not at all. Not at all. And that'd be great if down the line maybe they meet in Region 4.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Hey, listen, why not us? We're a good soccer region, and kids are good at it. And boy, I sure hope we get somebody.
An All Valley final in Region 4.
Nice.
That would be nice.
The only thing about San Antonio school, especially on the girls, you're onto some bigger kids. I mean, you look at some of those gals from some of those north side schools. I mean, 6 foot, 170-pound defenders. You're like, oh my God, how am I going to get around that person? And they're not slow either.
Bigger than you, man.
Right, I'm telling you, much bigger. So, hey, you know what? If we keep thinking like that, then maybe we won't win. Let's go and get us a state championship, somebody. I don't care who it is.
Somebody's bound to get one. I mean, we've been getting them.
Valley View again. Everybody keeps saying that. We don't want to jinx Valley View. Soccer's been great, and definitely more to come on that. See how the girls at McAllen schools can do, and see how the Sharylands do.
Just remember to get out there for the games. They're going to be on Friday. So.
Oh, and I'd like to add, this is not an April Fool's. I hate standardized testing for many reasons.
Oh, yes.
But the main one is because now, since I'm going to California Thursday afternoon, taking off in a plane, in fact, when the games begin that night, I'm very depressed. I'm going to miss Vela and EHS softball, and I'm shedding a symbolic tear. It's a bad thing. And it's all the testing's fault. The tax or the taps or the ass, whatever it is. I don't know. Asks, what is it?
I have no idea. I think it's, anyway, whatever.
If you're in a classroom with a kid all year long, you can say whether he learned or not. You just need to say check or not, but whatever.
But stars, thank you.
Stars, thank you. Isaac, of course, comes in with the political moment. All right, so now what? Softball.
Softball, okay, let's get on to softball. You had a little good game that propelled EHS to first place.
Right now, EHS has control of the race. It could easily change in 6 games, but it was an impressive win on the road. 5-4, another 1-run game. EHS busted out 3-0 in the first. They was a ping, ping, ping. Not killing the ball, but line drives and ground balls through the hole.
Put in the ball in play.
Yeah, put the ball in play. They got tied down the road. North came right back an inning later. Bing, 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 3-3. Then it got to be a well-played game. No edge until the end. Sammy Arciba got the big hit for EHS. Miranda Hinojosa pitched the game. It wasn't her greatest outing, as I'm writing this week, but she got it done. And she gave credit to her teammates afterward. Let me tell you about EHS. That team has some good fielders, all right? They don't make a lot of errors. I'm impressed with Ana Delgado. She's playing center field now. She's got a stick, but I didn't know she had such a good arm.
Yeah.
She can throw that ball, man. She made an assist at the plate and got faith in the first inning. If they had scored that run, it would have been 3-1, and they would have been still batting as it was. That was it. That was the key, one of the keys to the game. Fantastic game. Now EHS has to make sure not to take Vela lightly, because guess what? They want to play you. I'm telling you. I've talked to their people. They want to play. They're not scared of EHS. I promise you.
The way they've been playing, I wouldn't see them being scared of anybody.
And the thing is, they're only going to get better. Vela, that's the thing. I'm going to be on the plane going, I wonder who's hitting now. It's a horrible thing. But that's all right. I'll call you. I'll find out. I'll send you an email telling you who won the game. The district race is great. Do not count out Sharyland in softball. I'm telling you that right now. They can get back on a roll like they were at the beginning of the season. They're going to get Vela again. They're going to get Bobcats again. They're going to get North again. In other words, they win those 3 games. They win the district.
Sure.
Nothing is decided yet.
That's great. And then that's why it's still... You got to kind of wait till like the very end in these,
all these
district races,
Only the mindless media types like ourselves say, no, it's 18 years before the season.
But it happens.
4 great teams right there. And I include Vela as one of those teams, and I wouldn't have at the beginning of the season because nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nobody knew they were going to be that good, but you know what? They're that good.
Nobody knew because they don't have a PR person, and they don't have...
And they've never played a game.
Yeah, they never played a game. Like, how do you expect them to be great? That's not going to be like Sherryland, which is still in first in district in baseball. So.
Yeah, but only 1 game behind is North. North suffered that shellacking at the hands of Sherryland, but they came back and got some wins. Their big game is Thursday as well. Another great sporting match I'm going to have to hear about. Bobcats and them. Bobcats are on a roll. They won 4 in a row. Do not forget about that baseball team. Robert Valdez is a great motivator. When he has those kids going forward, man, you better look out. So they want to win that game badly. Will they have the talent and skill to do it? I don't know, but I wish I could see it.
PSJ is up in the rankings in 31, but it's a close race for second.
Yeah, it is. The Raiders are still tough in softball and baseball. The North Raiders have a good season.
The win column's all in 5, maybe 6 now.
There's like 4 teams out there at 5 wins, right?
So who's going to be the last man out?
I feel like San Benito, for some reason, is going to make some noise in the race. I feel like that team is, they believe in themselves. They made it last year. I don't know. We'll see. They've had pretty good sports here. The soccer team made it for the first time since, 1912.
Obviously, their softball team's doing great.
You're not going to beat them. You're not going to beat that team right now. That district is not sewn up, but you're not. Well, and then you look at 32, man. Porter, Los Fresnos, South is good. I mean, the softball playoffs are going to be crazy. I don't think any team in the Valley has that much of an edge over another. I think, is San Benito ranked #1?
Yeah.
Okay. They retooled. They got some new kids. They're a good program.
That'd be great to see them in EHS play.
You might.
Yeah.
You might. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what. Even though North lost twice to EHS, you talk about arms in the outfield. They got some cannons, man. Maldonado in right, Claudia in center, and Rihanna's got a good arm in left. You don't want to run on those guys, man. They just didn't get the timely hits. They left 9 on base against Bobcats. Getting behind 3-0 at home was bad, but again, like the first game, they came back. But you can't come back twice. Yeah. Can't do it. Or you don't want to expect to be able to do it. That team can still win it. They're going to have to get some help. And it starts with Vela. Vela beats EHS, and all the Lady Cougars are probably going to send them an email. Hey, way to go, whatever, text message, whatever they do.
So yeah, I guess we've covered 3 sports pretty quickly.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because it's moving fast, folks, and it'll be over by the time you know it. And then the school year will be over.
And then what do we do in the summer?
That'd be a great question. I have no idea.
Well, we go to the Roadrunner games. That's pretty good. I'm always trying to get people involved with that. I've been writing about them since the world was young, and there's some fun stories out there. It's just that nobody seems to have that much interest. I would encourage people to do this.
We might get Jose Canseco at the Roadrunners.
Hey. I would suggest this to the people watching or listening or whatever you're doing. Go to one game and bring your family and just see. Go to a Thursday night. Well, no, don't bring a family to Thursday night. Bring your family to a Friday night. Maybe fireworks. It's actually a decent show. And the thing is, I remember when those stands were packed. Remember when the Roadrunners first started?
Yeah,
those were great games. The red unis that they have back now.
And then a lot of crazy, like who owns who, and like who owns the stadium, and
it just got to be a mess.
And now Pan Am's involved there at the stadium. Nothing against them, obviously, but
it just complicates things. You can't go to everything.
There's a lot of people who rent that place out.
Yeah. I like it when they have fights there. I wish Tigre would fight his next fight, which by the way is coming April 26th. I'm excited. He got to get back on the comeback trail. Raul Cáceres, he got beat in the first round, the last fight, out in the big time, and he's going to be angry, and I hope he's been working hard. I'm getting ready to go see him in camp. I like Tigre, man. I like local boxing.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what we'll do this summer. We'll do some other things. We may even go out and find some club sports or some old folks bowling leagues. I hear
there's a polo team in town.
Really, old boy? I'll go out there once. I got some polo shirts from the 80s. I'll do it, man.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe a frisbee.
Hey, you know what I want to talk about before we get out of here?
Let's get what you got.
I want to talk about track for a minute. Because I want to do this little preview of the 35A track meet. Go for it. Because the district track meets are coming up in a couple of weeks. Sherryland's got a lot of kids that are doing well. I found out that Denham, is it a brother that jumps with him, Sam? 14 and 15, the pole vaulters? There's 2 Denhams. Sherryland has 2 of everything. They're amazing, like Noah's Ark. This guy Rosales on the hurdles is doing well. He's going to have to face off with Vince Castillo from Donna. That dude is cold, man. He ain't as good as the dude from Harlingen a couple of years back, Bermea. But he's a very good hurdler. He's winning everything. So, but Rosales has been close. He can definitely score points for his team. So Cervantes is going to score points in the throws. David Ansaldua of Edinburgh North. There's a guy who doesn't practice much with the track team because he plays baseball. But the more he works with Doug Erickson, who's the guru, he's assistant coach over there, and I used to be at Cornelius, he can improve that guy's throws because all he needs is work. All Ansaldua needs is reps on the pit, and he's going to be tough. He's someone to look out for in district. and probably the regionals too. His athleticism, 6'7", 320, and strong will get him to regionals. But if he wants to be a state thrower like some of these cats, then he's going to have to work at it more. Here's the thing, David plays 4 sports. I wonder what's going to happen next year. I haven't sat down and talked to him lately. I haven't seen him. But he's always a forthcoming cat. You know, he'll say what's what. I love Ansel Dewar because he's one of the few guys I know who actually has a real temper. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a negative way per se. He's just very aggressive. Like, he'll fuss back at a ref every now and then. He'll like get mad at a guy. I'm like, you know, to a certain extent, that's the kind of fire that wins. You don't want to go out there and punch somebody. And he wouldn't.
It's being competitive.
Yes, that's right. Look at the teams in the NCAA. Why is Louisville better than everybody else? Because they take the ball to the goal and they're aggressive and they get on you. They don't give you no room. Yeah. Their defense, even when it was in the zone, they were so far out there on those guys. Man, Duke was like, you know, like the JV, man. They dogged Duke.
Yeah, they really did, especially in the second half. They just
unbelievable. Who was that tall dude from Senegal hitting those long threes like Manute Bol? I'm like, oh, that guy was tough. Jang or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, the way Louisville just ran over Duke like that, it was...
How about Michigan, though? They're all like 12 years old. Michigan, like the Fab Five again, but maybe they're not as bad at characters. We can hope.
Hopefully not. Maybe they're a lot smarter, they won't call it timeout.
Remember Weber? And he traveled anyway, man. That was pitiful. That was the worst moment in sports history, man.
Yeah.
And he was a great player.
And if you don't know about the Fab Five, you really need to look into them.
Good, Billy. All right, so the other track guys, I find that Sharyland has jumpers, and they got a 6'4" high jumper. They got the pole vaulters. They got. They don't have great sprinters this year for some reason, but no, they're looking stacked. I really feel like none of the city teams right now, believe it or not, in Edinburgh, I think that Vela has a chance in a relay, 4x2, and then they got a kid running 400, Carlos. So I mean, you know, that team is going to get better and better by the year.
Team-wise, do you know? I mean,
I don't think anyone. Donna's actually got some athletes,
talent,
but no, Tom's got some, but no, Sharyland's going to blow that district apart. Next week, I want to talk extensively about the girls because it's going to be crazy. It's going to. I'm looking at the 800 as the magical race of the district meet because there's some really good kids in that. So, but that's for next week. Great. We'll do boys now and girls later.
Come back also with the McAllen and other schools par.
Yeah.
I'll come back with that preview.
Louis Vega from Memorial is a sprinter that's turning some heads. Yeah, he had 1170, 100. He's going to have to get faster to go to regional or state, but you know that's not a bad 100. So
we'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else is there?
I think that's it.
Basketball Valley came out. Did you see the Girls All Valley?
Yes.
Mitchell was the MVP.
Player of the year.
Yeah. She's a well-deserving kid. The district awards were her and Larissa shared the MVP. Emily was the offensive player of the year. An unbelievable year in Edinburgh basketball. I think maybe next week we'll spend more time talking about those All Valley teams because they're worth about 8 or 10 minutes a show.
Definitely.
Good representation. McAllen had its share of players and Sharyland some too.
Grand. We'll be back next Tuesday though.
Tuesday, yeah, it won't be Monday because I'm going out of town, like I said, in California. Talking sports with me, Greg Selber, Pete Pettis, will be Tuesday night then, or Tuesday afternoon if we can arrange it. Glad you're watching us and listening to us, and have a good week.
See you.